Looks like at best I'll cut 2 videos tonight for my 70s YouTube channel due to some computer glitches that set me back about 30 minutes. And let's go ahead and get started right now. I was going to start counting down this WTBC playlist from 1979 right here, but I'm going to hold off on that right now because these Hot 100s, outsourcing these Hot 100s, it's like digging into a gold mine, basically, and you're pulling out all these nuggets, one nugget after another. And for every one nugget you pull out, there's about 100 waiting on you that's waiting to be pulled. So I'm going to stick with doing these Billboard Hot 100s, outsourcing these Billboard Hot 100s, and outsourcing this Billboard Hot 100. I don't have the date. I think it's February the 5th, 1977. It'd be the first week of February 1977, and the song that I want to play for you, debuting at number 99, "Ashes and Sand" by Johnny Rivers, off his revamped Soul City record label. Ashes and Sand only got as high as number 95, 96 on Billboard's Hot 100. Nice record by Johnny Rivers, but just didn't make it. Johnny Rivers, let's go back a little bit on Johnny Rivers. His real name, John Ramostella. It's either John or James Ramostella. I'll just call him James Ramostella, or John Ramostella, rather. Learned how to play the guitar when he was about 8 years old. Old guitar. Learned how to play the mandolin, and he also played in some high school bands. But in 1957, Johnny Rivers made a big decision. He wanted to meet Alan Freed, the legendary Alan Freed, legendary DJ, hitting up on that R&B music back in the 50s. A lot of DJs wouldn't play. Alan Freed played it. He was a daring man back in the day. John Ramostella figured that Alan Freed could make things happen for him. Ramostella went to New York City. He camped out in front of Alan Freed's radio station, WINS, waiting for Alan Freed to show up. When Alan Freed showed up, John Ramostella rather, came up to him and said, "Man, I got some demos I want you to listen to. I mean, I've been dying to meet you." And Alan Freed said, "Well, I tell you what, let's wait until tomorrow. Come back tomorrow and I'll listen to your songs." John Ramostella came back the next day. Alan Freed gave his records a listen to, and Alan Freed was like, "Well, you got some talent there, son. You're sounding good. I might could get you on a record label. But we got to do something about that name." And Ramostella said, "Well, what can we change it to?" And Alan Freed was like, "Well, I tell you what. Now you grew up in Baton Rouge, right?" And James Ramostella said, "Yeah." Alan Freed says, "Well, you got the Mississippi River running right through Baton Rouge. Why don't you call yourself Johnny Rivers? You grew up right there on the Mississippi River. Johnny Rivers sounds good to me. How about it? How's it sound to you?" James Ramostella said, "Hey, Alan, I tell you what, man, Mr. Freed, it's gonna be Johnny Rivers from now on, man." And Alan Freed got Johnny Rivers. Well, he had to get a record deal with Gun Records, but Gun Records didn't do anything for Johnny Rivers. About 3 or 4 singles, didn't do anything. He eventually migrated back to Baton Rouge. Now, one other thing I want to mention about Johnny Rivers, he was born in New York City, but he grew up in Baton Rouge, and eventually he went to the West Coast, and he got a big break, got a 1-year contract to perform live at the legendary Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles. They were just getting cranked up. The British invasion was just getting cranked up. And Johnny Rivers was a smash at the Whiskey A Go Go performing live. He was so big that Lou Adler, a producer, put out a live album by Johnny Rivers called Johnny Rivers Live at the Whiskey A Go Go, which featured Memphis, his version of Memphis. The instrumental was done by Lonnie Mack. And Johnny Rivers had his first real big hit record. And of course, you had Mountain of Love that came in 1964, Harold Dorman song, Poor Side of Town, Summer Rain, such a powerful record back in the summer '67, classic summer '67 hit. And Baby I Need Your Lovin', the song the Four Tops did, and Poor Side of Town song that he wrote himself, Johnny Rivers, but he preferred covering other people's material. He did Rockin' Pneumonia, which was kind of a tribute to the state that he grew up in, Louisiana. Huey Piano Smith tune going back to 1958. Got that New Orleans flavor. Huey Piano Smith record, Rockin' Pneumonia, big one for Johnny Rivers at Christmas of '72. The last big hit that Johnny Rivers came out before he did, before Fire and Ashes came out, or Ashes and Sand rather came out, was he did a version of Help Me Rhonda. That's a Lost 45. Most of casual listeners don't remember that song, his version of Help Me Rhonda. He got Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys to sing back up to help him out on it. And that was his last big hit before Ashes and Sand came out in 1977. But Ashes and Sand, one of his best records, actually. And I watched Music Mike talk about the record Ashes and Sand by Johnny Rivers, and I agree with him. This was one of his best records, but just didn't make it. But then Slow Dance Its Way Into the Music, which came out in the summer of '77, maybe it was the fall of '77, that was Johnny Rivers' really big comeback hit. He had a song that was done by the Funky Kings. Also, one other thing I want to mention. Guess who wrote? Guess who wrote Slow Dancing's Way Into the Music? Guess who wrote it? The guy's name was, I wrote it down. I completely forgot it. A guy named Jack Temchin. Jack Temchin wrote that song, Slow Dancing. Jack Temchin wrote Peaceful, Easy Feeling, one of the Eagles' biggest hits. And when Glenn Frey got off on his solo career, Jack Temchin helped him out big time. He co-wrote some of Glenn Frey's biggest solo hits in the '80s, including You Belong to the City and The One You Love. But let's get back to this Johnny Rivers record. This is Ashes and Sand, coming in, making its debut at number 99, February 1977 Billboard's Hot 100.